Hey there, how are we doing? So welcome back to Mobility Monday, and today we are thinking about a run warm-up. So I've done run warm-ups before, but it's always good just to remind ourselves of what we're doing. I'm a big fan of run warm-ups. If we just go out for a run without doing any mobility warm-up, and by warm-up I'm talking a mobility warm-up, if we go out and run without doing a mobility warm-up beforehand, the risk is that our body adapts to the position we spend most time in. So for most of us, that's spending time seated, and probably over a computer, over a phone, whatever, like this. I'm exaggerating, but we're like this. So our body gets very tight at the hips here and at the shoulders here because we're saying to it, this is the position we want to be in. So it adapts to that position. We get very good at doing that. Then when we try and go for a run, we don't really want to run in this position. We want to be able to get that full extension, leg back behind us, want to be able to get the shoulder pulled back. So let's help our body get into the positions we want it to get into by allowing that full range of motion at the joint before we start running. People always say to me, oh, but I haven't got time to do that. I would still say take 5 minutes out of your run and spend 5 minutes doing mobility beforehand. You will get more out of the run. You'll be able to go faster because you'll be able to have that longer stride length because you'll be able to extend the hip behind you. So you've got longer stride length, which means you can ultimately go faster if you go further in each stride. But more to the point, you're reducing your risk of injury. If we are tight at our hips, we struggle to engage our glutes. Our glutes are our most fatigue resistant, one of the biggest muscle groups in the body. We want them working for us when we run. They give us the power, they give us that propulsion, but they also help to stabilize our knee, our hips, so that we're not running in a way that's more likely to get us injured. We're not ending up not using our glutes at all, so we end up overusing our calves, end up with calf injury. So we need to loosen up those hips, just as an example, to get the glutes engaging so that we can use them when we run. So we want to do the mobility to reduce the risk of injury, to get more from the run, to potentially lengthen that stride length, and to help our overall body mobility. Because if we spend all our time seated, we'll end up looking like this when we get old, and we don't want to. We want that full range of motion. So the more time we spend doing mobility work, the better it is for our body overall. And if we can add that as just 5-10 minutes before a run, then we're getting in more of that mobility work. In terms of what we want to do, we want to focus on particularly the areas we most need to be loose when we're running, hips being the big one, but also our ankles and our mid back. So that's what we'll focus on today. We're going to start off just with a loosening up our thighs. Often when we go into our hip work, we find that our quads, our thigh muscles are too tight. So I'm going to do your couch stretch for you today. So you want a couch behind you, foot out in front of you. I would definitely have something underneath your knee, a cushion underneath your knee. And then we're going to tuck our tailbone under, and you're feeling probably quite a deep stretch into that thigh. If it feels too deep, take the knee further away from you. Long term, we're trying to draw up at the front. So I'm going to talk a lot today, and I often do, about water in your pelvis, tipping the water out of the pelvis. If you so we're imagining our pelvis as a bowl of water. Right now, the water's all falling out the front here. As I loosen up that thigh by drawing up at the front, I'm trying to tip the water out at the back. I'm still too tight in the front here that I can't quite tip the water out the back yet, but that's what I'm trying to aim for. If with anything we're doing today you don't like kneeling, there's a whole run warm-up in standing. I think it's session 1 or 2 in the whole block, so you can stand back to that, or just find other alternatives. So if you've got a way of stretching your thigh where you're not kneeling, absolutely go for that instead. There's loads of other thigh stretches. I'm just giving you one here. So as that's starting to loosen, I'm able to get more upright, and I'm pretty much getting to that point of tipping the water out the back. Swap over onto the other side. And that is a stretch you could spend a long time doing there. I'm just briefly taking you through it, but if it does feel tight, absolutely spend some more time there, or equally you could be rolling, whatever you prefer to do. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, but you're not meant to stretch before running. You're not meant to stretch before running if you are trying to qualify for the Olympics or something, because it will take some of the power out of your running. But if you've got tight thighs, those thigh muscles are going to be pulling on that kneecap. That kneecap's going to be grating. If you get a knee injury, that's going to penalize your running a lot more than just loosening off your thighs. When I did my level 3 triathlon coaching, it was with the physio. One of the tutors on the course was a physio who works with the Brownlees, has worked with Paula Radcliffe and everything. You know, she's got her pedigree, and she was saying absolutely stretch your thighs before running if they are tight, because the damage you're going to do is so much worse than the potential slight loss of speed by stretching those muscles beforehand. Or roll the night before. If you've got a race coming up and your thighs are tight, roll the night before, so you don't need to worry about stretching on the morning if that worries you. But absolutely don't run if those thighs are feeling tight. Okay, so we've loosened up our thighs, and please do spend longer on that if you need to. From there, we're going to go into a kneeling sequence. And as I say, this is all in kneeling today. If you can't kneel for whatever reason, then please do look back to that session right at the beginning of this block. As I say, 1 or 2, I think it was, or just adapt. So you could be in this position, but just hovering the knee off the ground. So again, tipping that pelvis, tipping the water out the back. I'm drawing up at the front, tipping the water out the back. Loosening up the front of the hip. From there, I'm going to draw up at the front and push forwards. So this is taking my hip into extension. What I'm not doing is ignoring that tucking under and just pushing back and all the movements coming from my lower back. So instead, I'm keeping my pelvis level, that bowl of water is level, and the leg is coming behind me as I push forwards, that back leg. So I'm getting that knee behind the line of the body without tilting my pelvis, without arching my lower back. Once you're happy with that movement, we can start adding in a little bit more just to get a bit more from our time. So I'm now pushing forwards and I've got my hands on my front knee and I'm pushing my front knee as far forwards as I can. So I'm getting some ankle mobility at the front here. I'm increasing that stretch at the back. So I'm working front ankle, back hip. Push the knee towards the little toes rather than the big toe. Then as I come back, I'm going to push my hips as far back as I can, lean forwards, and I'm getting stretch into my hamstring. I'm not moving my knees on my feet. Well, I am moving my knees, but I'm not having to reshuffle my starting position. That foot, that knee stays where it is, but I'm just pushing forward, tuck the tailbone under, so loosening up the back hip, loosening up the front ankle, then push back into the hamstring. A few more. Keeping on the right knee, I'm just going to shuffle around so you can see, but you stay kneeling on that right knee. Now take the left foot up at about 45 degrees. So rather than being in front of you, it's out to the side about 45 degrees. I'm pushing that direction. So now I'm loosening up down the inside of that front thigh. Don't bounce. We never really want to bounce. In the 80s, we did all our bouncing stretching, not good for us. We're just gently using our breath, breathe out as we go into that stretch, slowly pushing into it, coming out. So we're mobilizing, adding some movement to build the range of motion at that joint. From there, take that left foot out to your side, sit down onto your heel, the back heel, and as you do that, keep taking that foot further away from you. So I'm taking my left foot further away from me each time. So I'm loosening up down the inside of the thigh, once more like that. Then take the toes up to the ceiling, so digging my heel into the ground now, and a few more times up and down. It's just slightly moved where that stretch is. Lovely. Onto all fours. Take my left hand up to the ceiling and then reaching through. So I'm working on my mid-back mobility here. Hand up to the ceiling, reaching through. You carry on doing that. So while I'm running, I want to be able to get that good rotation. We don't want loads of rotation. We don't want our arms swinging side to side. That's where our core comes in. But we've got almost like an elastic band that we can pull each shoulder back with. Upper body works in tandem with our lower body. So that's where our energy is coming from. So we want to be able to get that mid-back rotation, which is what we're working on here. So our hips stay where they are, belly button facing down towards the ground, belly button doesn't move. It's the mid-back that's moving. If you've got arm problems and you can't reach the arm up, that's fine. Just go for shoulder up or elbow up. Swap sides. Last one. Lovely. Into kneeling on the other side now. So swap sides. Left knee down, right foot on the ground. Tucking the tailbone under, tipping the water out the back. loosening up into that hip. So we should be feeling it in the left hip, the back hip, the hip of the knee that's on the floor. From there, we're going into push forwards, open up that hip even more in a slightly different position, thinking about taking that knee into extension behind us. If you were going to go into a run, then visualizing what that feels like when we're running. When we run, we want to keep that neutral pelvis. We don't want to arch through the low back. Keep that neutral pelvis, and the leg extends behind us. And now push the knee forwards, and then push the hips backwards. So push the knee forwards, loosening up the front ankle, back hip, and then push the hips backwards, loosening up the hamstring on the front leg. Last pair. Lovely. Keeping the left knee down. I'm just turning so you can see. Keeping the left knee down. Right foot out at about 45 degrees. Push towards it. And back. Breathe out as we push forwards. Breathe in as we come back. Loosening up down the inside of the thigh. If we're tight on the inside of the thigh here, we struggle to engage our side glutes. Our side glutes are so important for us, for our running, for stabilizing the hips, to make sure those knees aren't collapsing in. So we want to make sure we're loosening up down the inside there. Leg out to the side, same job here, still loosening up the inside of the thigh, bum down, bum up. Foot facing forwards to start off with. As it loosens up, take that foot a little bit further away. And then heel up to the ceiling, dig the heel in, and we're nearly there. And I think we spent the first 5 minutes me talking to you and going through the quad stretch. So in terms of the amount of time we spent on the actual run mobility, just over 5 minutes. So hopefully that can feel something easy enough to fit in before your next run. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.